Welcome, friends, to this two-day event in Besalu. I am very happy to come to this small town, very quaint, beautiful town. I just met the mayor of this town this morning and congratulated him. He told me the town has a limited population and most of it is now occupied by tourists. And I said, I'm glad I am here at the right time as a tourist. It's a delight to meet you. I hope you all understand English because I'm going to speak in English. Anybody who doesn't understand English? Okay, I presume you all do. And will you get translation? Okay, so you will help each other. Thank you. I have come to share with you some of my experiences with a perfect living master, whose picture is placed next to me. Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh. He was my master. He accepted me as a disciple. I don't know when. Maybe in a previous life. Maybe when I first saw him when I was 29 days old. Or maybe on 9th of March, 1937, when he formally initiated me. It does not mean that a master accepts you only when he formally initiates you. I remember an event. An old man, very poor man, from a distant village, had dreams about master. He saw the man with a white beard. And when he checked with some followers of master in that village, they said, that is Baba Sawan Singh. And he lives on the bank of a river, Beas, and you can go and see him. He was so poor, he could not even afford to pay for the bus ride. So he started walking. He didn't realize such a long walk. He had all his belongings wrapped up in a little piece of cloth, which he would carry on his back. And he walked for almost a month, every day stopping, because he was so pulled by the dream of great master that he reached there, as it happened by coincidence. On the day he arrived in the Dera, great master was coming out of the house near the door. I was standing with some other satsangis, his followers, on one side. And this man saw great master. He threw his bag, that piece of cloth, and ran to him and grabbed his feet and said, please initiate me, because he had heard the word initiation from the other followers of Sangis of great master. And great master said, what, once again? And then he suddenly said, oh, you were initiated when you left your village. But formal initiation we will do tomorrow. I'm mentioning this story to you because initiation is not something that happens outside. It happens inside. When a master accepts us, he has initiated us. What is the meaning of initiation or the meaning of a master accepting us? The meaning is he has taken responsibility to take us to our true home, Sachkhand, where we belong. We don't belong here. This physical world is a very temporary place where we have come for a short period. This life is very short compared to trillions of years in cosmic time that have existed even on this planet. So we do not really know when we are initiated. A master can initiate us and we may not know for a while, till we go within to check out. Initiation does not take place outside on the physical plane. Initiation takes place inside, at the third eye center, which is the doorway to our spiritual journey. What is a third eye center? It's a point within the human body, between the eyes, behind the eyes, between the ears. If you were to draw two parallel lines behind the eyes and draw a line across from where the ears are your conscious self is sitting on the bench on the center of that line. That means there's a place in the physical body from where we operate as conscious human beings. And that is why it is there that a master really initiates us. What does he do when he initiates us? He places himself there for us to have an experience of him with us. That means he becomes part of us, part of our consciousness, part of our experiences, right from that moment onwards inside. But since we are not looking inside, we are looking outside, that is why sometimes we don't know we are initiated. But when we go inside and withdraw our attention from this physical body to our inner body that sits inside, we can see the Master in the same form in which we see him in a physical body. Except that we can see that Master even in utter darkness, even with closed eyes, even in a dark room, you can see the Master very clearly inside during meditation. So meditation is a process. Meditation is merely a method to withdraw our attention and go within to see the Master and to see that we are initiated by the Master. He is sitting inside. Because we can see that Master in utter darkness, we call it the radiant form of the Master. But at the same time, when we see the Master in radiant form inside, we are also having a radiant form. Because that is the nature of our form at another level of awareness, level of consciousness. So that is why when people say we want initiation, they sometimes think it is merely a formality of telling us how to repeat the mantra, how to use certain words, how to listen to the sound. The method is nothing to do with the initiation. The method is merely how to go and check out that you are initiated. The method is just to withdraw your attention and go within. And that is why it's important for us to verify that we have been initiated by going within. Masters do not come to set up any religion. They do not come to set up any societies. They come to pick up their marked sheep, the marked people who are like shepherds. They collect their marked sheep. And what is a marked sheep? What is a marked soul? A marked soul is a human being, living human being, who is seeking for the ultimate truth, who is tired of this physical world, who says, I have had enough of this. This is not my place. This is too messy. It is too much of pain and suffering and too much of the duality of pairs of opposites, darkness and light, pain and suffering, happiness, unhappiness. This is not our place. Our true place belongs to our true home, where there is nothing but bliss and happiness, true bliss. So that is why when we are tired of this place, a Master appears in our life. When we are ready to go to our true home, he appears. We can't find him. Why can't we find a Master if it is very well known that a Master can take us to our true home? The reason is the Master comes in the same form which we have. He takes a human body like we take. He is born and dies like us. He lives life like us. He eats and grows and does everything like us. Falls sick, takes medicines, gets treatment, goes to hospital, just like us. Therefore, how can we ever identify who is a Master? It's very difficult to know who is a Master. I'm telling you, we cannot find a Master. We can find some teachers who are known to be teachers, and we can learn many things from them. And they teach us even spiritual truths. They teach us this is not our home, that our home is somewhere else, that we can, through meditation, through the practice of withdrawing attention within, find out our true home. They teach everything. They teach about disciplines. They teach what is a good moral life to live. They give you all that teaching, and we also call them teachers, gurus, masters. But a perfect living master is somewhat different. A perfect living master does not come to teach. He comes to take back those souls which are ready to go back to their true home. Period. That is all that his job is, to take his marked persons, marked souls back to the true home. And once we are ready for that, he appears in our life by itself. How does he appear if we are not even searching for him, if we don't know how to find him? He appears by coincidence. He appears by chance in our life. And we sometimes are looking somewhere else and he suddenly appears like an ordinary person. How does he pull us? If he is ordinary person like us, how does he pull us? He pulls us by a strange kind of love, which is pure spiritual love, which pulls us from inside. He pulls our soul. He does not pull our body, he does not pull our mind, he does not pull our thinking, he doesn't have nothing to do with our sense perceptions. He pulls our soul. What is soul? The soul is different from the mind, different from the senses, and different from our body. Soul is life. What makes all these alive? Our body is alive because we have a soul. A tree outside is alive and grows, it has a soul. A little insect moving has a soul. Animals have souls, and all the souls are alike. It does not mean an animal has different kind of soul, human beings have different kind. Soul is the same. Soul is the principle of life. That life manifests in different forms, and life can manifest in a plant form. It can manifest in insect, birds, mammals, human, angels, gods whom some people worship. They are all manifestations of soul. Soul can take so many forms. Why has the soul to take so many forms? Because for the physical world here, a law has been created which governs our life. It has been created through a very simple process of first creating time and space. When time and space are created, then on the time events are placed. And we as living souls are given a mind to live through that time space. And we use sense perceptions to heighten that experience. And we get a physical body to cover up our soul and mind and senses. And so we can experience all of them through a physical body which looks more real than anything else. So this way, in a beautiful way, a reality has been created. And this world looks absolutely real. And we are locked out from all the other realities, and we think this is the only reality. We want to check, is this table real? And we touch it. Look at it. Flowers are real, we can smell them. We can use all our sense perceptions to determine if things are real. Are people real? We can touch them, we can hug them. We can feel they are there, they are friends, all are real. This reality has been created in a marvelous way, and the method to check what is real is the use of sense perceptions, which govern all our experiences here. If we had no sense perceptions, the world would cease to exist for us. So the sense perceptions are very important. But sense perceptions also work in other forms of consciousness. For example, we all go to sleep and have dreams. Some people have fewer dreams, some have more dreams. Actually, everybody has dreams. Some remember them, some don't. A lot of studies have been done on that. Now, supposing I was sleeping, had a dream. In the dream, I saw this table, and I saw this cup of water here. In a dream, I see this, and I take it as real. I pick up the water, take a sip of it. Very tasty water, very nice. I enjoyed having a sip of water in my dream. Then I wake up. I still remember I tasted the water, but there was no water. There was no glass. There was no table. But I checked it in the dream. I touched it. I drank the water. I did everything to confirm with my sense perceptions it was real. Then why did I not know it is a dream? Because I was sleeping and was not aware of a physical state of wakefulness at that time. I was only aware of the dream state. Is it possible that this experience which we are having now as a physical experience is also dreamlike? Is it possible we take it as real and we confirm it's real only with our sense perceptions, and if we woke up one day and we found this was also another dream? Is it possible? Not only is it possible, it is the truth. And you can find out by a strange method by which you can wake up at any time in the middle of your sleep. In the dream state, you can also wake up if somebody nudges you. Say, get up, wake up. You wake up with that. Somebody from outside who's awake is telling us, get up. And we are in the middle of our dream. Supposing they are dreaming that we are carrying our horses from the stable and holding our horses and going. We are having a dream. And some friend of ours who is awake, he touches us, get up, get up. What do we say? We half asleep. But who will take my horses? I'm speaking half in dream, half in wakefulness. My voice is coming in the wakeful state, and the dream sequence, what I'm seeing is still the horses in my hand. And then I wake up. And he says, I will take care of your horses. So I wake up. There are no horses. Did that man tell a lie when he said, I'll take care of your horses? Of course not. He knew I was dreaming, and that is why I was thinking of horses. Now the man who is awake, if he wakes me up and he participates in my dream by saying, I'll take care of your horses, he is only participating in my dream in order to wake me up. When he says, I'll take care of your horses, I wake up. And then I find there were no horses. But I told him there were horses. Can you imagine this could be our situation? Can you imagine it is possible that what we are experiencing now as physical reality is actually another dream, and somebody more awakened than us can tug us and say, come, I'll tell you how to wake up, or tell you, I'll take care of your problems. And we wake up and find there were no problems. That it was part of our dream. And he woke us up. It's quite possible. Now, is it just a theoretical model I'm setting up to say it's possible? No. We have the great opportunity as human beings to have that advantage of getting woken up by one who is already awake. And the system is very simple. That if we are sleeping and have this physical body, what body do we have when we are awake? When we are in a dream body, we know we slept on a bed. And we were running around, flying in places. There were different rules of nature in a dream. In a dream, one can go from one place to another. You're sitting in Besalu, you can go to Barcelona, you can go to America, New York in 1 second. And people have those dreams, they shift from one place to another. In a second, it looks normal. Nobody has ever questioned a dream, how did I come so quickly? In the physical world, you have to say, how can you fly there quickly? Rules of nature are different at every level of reality. So this reality has its own rules, and dream reality has its own rules. And if you awake up further to higher wakeful state, there are different rules for that too. There are different laws of nature there. So when we are in a dream state, we forget where we are sleeping. I remember a very interesting dream when I was a child. I remembered in the dream that I am dreaming. And I said, I am dreaming, and this is my body, but where am I sleeping? From where I am dreaming? I ran around searching for the bed on which I was sleeping. And ultimately, when I found the bed and woke up, I found I had not gone anywhere. The dream took place while I was still on the bed. I didn't run anywhere. But even while I was searching for the bed in which I am sleeping, I still thought that the body with which I was running to look for, my sleeping body, was real. I'm bringing this to your attention because our reality is created by this experience. So we have different levels of realities. Some people call it different levels of consciousness. And some people think it's illusion. How can it be illusion? There was a man who was giving lecture in my great master's dera, trying to pretend he knows everything. It's all illusion. Nothing is real here. And he was also talking of his high ascent into higher planes. I was a little child then, but I was so surprised how he can make these claims. And that it's all illusion, nothing is real here. So I played a little trick. I think I mentioned to some of you that I had a little safety pin with me. I opened the safety pin while he was talking to a crowd of people. And I went and poked the pin in him. He got up, cried with anger and ran after me. But I was young, I could run faster, I knew that. This is how a little pain can make it real. And otherwise in philosophy, you are going up and saying it's all unreal. How can that be? This is not unreal. This is reality. It's not real, but reality. Now, what is the difference between being real or its reality? It's created reality. When I mentioned to you about the dream, and I said I had a cup of, by talking like this, I got a chance to sip water again. When I said in my dream, I saw the water. I saw the cup. I touched it. I drank. I still remember it. Was that illusion or real? My experience was real. I can still remember it. Experiences are always real. Always. When I had that experience, I presumed that the glass is real, that the water is real. When did I find out that the experience of drinking water was real, but the glass and the water was not real? Only when I woke up. This is the truth about reality. We will take this as real. A reality has been created for us by locking out everything else which can challenge the reality. Nobody can say, my experience is not real, because it's actually real. It's happening. How can you deny that an experience is not happening when it's happening? I remember that there was a very famous lady in India, a follower of Mahatma Gandhi, and she was running a dance school. And in one of my jobs, I had to come and visit her school. And there she said, you have some knowledge of this, our spiritual teachings, and I want to have one question only. So he invited me for tea in her house. And when she was giving me tea, she said, explain to me the meaning of the word Maya. Because all our scriptures say this world is Maya and not the truth. So how can Maya be described as something that is not the truth? What is Maya? In English translation, I find Maya has been called illusion. And people say it's all illusion. This world is all illusion. Well, poke with a pin and you'll see it's not illusion. The Shakespeare in one of his plays says, there never yet was philosopher who could bear the toothache patiently. You go to a dental chair, it becomes real. When pain comes, out of many experiences we have, the one experience that makes it absolutely real is pain. When pain comes to us, it becomes real. Experiences are always real. But the Maya, illusion is not that the experience is not there. The illusion is that because of that experience, we think the objects which are related to that experience are also real. They disappear when you wake up. This world disappears when you wake up to a higher world. And then you discover it was dreamlike. So the whole question of knowledge of your true home or knowledge of the way you can go to your true home lies in waking up. Waking up. The journey from this state to our true home is not traveling somewhere. We don't travel when we wake up from a dream. It's the same place. We were always there. Would you believe it that we are talking of a spiritual journey to go to our true home when we are already there? Just sleeping. Just sleeping several times, dream within dream. And it's just a sixth dream that we are having, and we take this as reality. We wake up in the same place. We have another world to live in. What is the difference between this world and the awakened world? Sometimes the body we have here, they call it physical body. A sthul sharir. A sthul sharir means physical body made of matter, atoms and molecules. When you are in this body, all reality around you is also made up of atoms and molecules. Whatever the shape of your body, whatever the material with which your body is made, the whole world is made up like that. And you experience in a physical body, a physical material world. When you wake up, you don't have physical body. You don't have matter. You don't have molecules and atoms. But you still have all the five sense perceptions intact. You can see, touch, taste, smell better than you can do here. You can use them also in a dream. So these five sense perceptions continue to persist even if the body changes form or does not have a form at all. It will still be the same. The sense perceptions persist. And that is why, what is the difference between a person who is dead, left his body, and a person who's alive? One is having a body with matter, the other one has a body with no matter, but still sense perceptions. Both can see, both can touch, but the vision of without a body is much better than the vision with the body. Our material body causes impairment. We have to use glasses if we can't read. In the other body, vision is better than 20/20 all the time. Have you ever imagined that even the imaginary body that you can make for yourself, that means you can close your eyes and imagine you are there, then read a newspaper. Very fine print, you can read very well. And here you try to read with the eyes open, you can't even read too well. You need glasses. The sense perceptions are sharp and intact in the inner body. We call it Suksham Sharir, or we call it astral body, or we call it sensory body, finer body. Why do we call it sensory body? Because sense perceptions are intact. This is the first step to discover that this place is, we have come here for experiencing a physical reality. No other purpose. Maybe some more purposes, we'll come to that. But it's a physical reality has been created by our experiences which make us believe everything is real around us. When we wake up, that becomes real. This becomes unreal, just like a dream. If we go higher than that, that means if we find out that we can awake even higher than a Suksham Sharir or astral body, we can wake up into something that has no sense perceptions. But it has perception, total perception. It can perceive everything without having to divide it into seeing separate, hearing separate, touching separate, smelling separate. That's our self. But sometimes that body, which sometimes we call it Karan Sharir or causal body, because all things have happened because of that body. All our experiences here, our destiny, our pralabdha, our future, our past, present, future, our time, everything is generated from that causal body. Therefore, we call it causal body or Karan Sharir. That means that Sharir, that body has created everything. It's a wonderful experience to have it, and it can be obtained while we are living in a physical body and not dead. It can be done by what we call dying while living. You can have an experience, exact experience of what will happen when you physically die. You can have it while you're still living. That's a great opportunity. And how come this opportunity can come to us? Because if we are ready to go to our true home, if we are tired of this system out here, if we think we have had enough of it, These are the things that make us ready. If we are ready, a perfect living master, a human being, appears in our life, just like us. The only difference between that human being and ourselves is he can maintain his wakeful state even while he is here as a human being. He can not only maintain his wakeful state up to the astral level, no, not even beyond causal level, right up to where we are a soul only, and right up to where we are a totality of one and not even more than one. He is awake in all these levels at the same time when he is here in this reality. We, by practice of meditation, can awake one step at a time. We can go from this body into the inner body, and we'll forget this. We can wake up from a dream body into this. Dream body is unreal. We forget it. We can't have both. We cannot have a dream sequence going on where we don't have knowledge of this wakeful and also the wakeful body. If we did, it will be called a daydream. It will be just imaginary. Both cannot be real. But a perfect living master coming in our midst as a human being carries the awareness, a wakefulness of all levels of created realities, which he knows they are all created from consciousness, from the ability to perceive, the ability to be aware. That is consciousness. That the whole secret ultimately is coming from one consciousness, one totality, only one creative power. And the many that have been created are for a certain purpose. And we are so many, we are still part of one. And that discovery comes to anyone. It is not that it's a unique person who comes and he is alone having this knowledge. Anybody can have that knowledge. If the desire to have that knowledge, the seeking to have that knowledge is there. Secret is seeking. If you seek earnestly, you will find. If you seek earnestly, a master will appear in your life no matter what. You don't have to seek outside. You have to seek inside. When your search is inside, such a master appears by coincidence in your life. But you don't accept him as a master. He's just like anybody else, but he becomes a friend. Friendship is very important. It is a friend who gives you strange feeling. Maybe he knows more than what we can see. It's just an impression we get. Then we get an impression he knows more about us. Then suddenly we have a strange trust in that person and are able to share our seeking and even other things that we have never shared with anybody. And we don't know why it's happening. Our mind is questioning the whole thing. Our mind is doubting the whole thing. It says, how can you have that feeling? How did you do this? But in spite of the doubt, as time goes on, something overrides the mind. And we fall in love with that person. And at that time, we realize he is not just like us, but his awareness is different. Nothing else is different. Only the awareness. That person has an awareness of all realities and the creator of the realities at all times. Even when he's walking with us in physical bodies, even then he has the same awareness. We as seekers of truth, we learn how to seek the truth. Truth is very simple. It's been very well said by founders of all religions that the truth is found within yourself. Nobody has said that you have to go into a sky to find the truth or to go outside into the rivers to find the truth. You can worship creators by going out anywhere, but the truth has to be found within yourself. If it is that simple, that means this body in which we are right now residing and we call within ourselves, that has to be found within this body. The body will disappear when we wake up. Yet we say we have to find within this body. So we can only find one wakeful state in this body. Then you wake up, there's no other body except that one. When we wake up further, the astral body is nowhere, it's a dream. Causal body is a reality. That means as we progress on the spiritual journey towards our own self, to realizing who we are, we go through one reality at a time, not more. Nobody experiences more than one reality at a time, except a perfect living master who, having attained the experience and the awareness of totality, that's a great experience. And when you are total, you are at all realities and the manner in which illusion has been used to create those realities all at once. And that person, human being, ordinary human being like us, has such an awareness. Such a person we call a perfect living master. Why do we call him perfect living master? When we use these words, perfect living master. There are so many masters, so many teachers, so many gurus. In fact, it is described that there are 4 gurus in everybody's life. First guru, first teacher, your mother, where you are born. Second teacher, school teacher. Third teacher, your church, temple, mosque, where you go and learn. Fourth teacher, a spiritual teacher. These 4 teachers are recognized. But even among spiritual teachers, there is such a variety of them. Some of them believe that if you have to go within, you have to develop and understand the energies in this body. And therefore, they put a lot of attention on discovering where is our energy coming from. And they discovered the energy is coming from some energy centers located in the body. 6 identified centers. The center at the rectum, at the genitals, in the navel, the heart, the throat, and the eyes. 6 energy centers. They are responsible for all experiences of energy that we are having in the physical world or internal world. Energy is all controlled by these 6 centers. They call chakra, 6 chakras, 6 centers. These centers give us wonderful experiences if you put your attention within on those centers. Therefore, there are so many yogis, so many sadhus, so many people practicing meditation. I have met so many of them and practiced with them. The ability to concentrate your attention on these centers, and also that you can raise your experiences by starting with the eyes. They call them by some symbolic names. Since petal is a flower petal, they refer to the eye center from where it starts when you're a wakeful person. The 2-petal lotus, which is 2 eyes. They go from there along the spine down to the bottom, called the first center, 4-petal lotus, 6-petal lotus, 8, 12, and again back to 2. So this cycle they repeat, and it's wonderful. And especially because the sexual organs are very much demanding our attention during our growth. That is why they call the Kundalini section and the reversal of Kundalini, as if there's a connection between the spine and the forward part. So these are all practices that raise our level of energy and experiences of energy, including sometimes an out-of-body experience, which makes us feel we are separate from this body, which is, some people feel connected with the body with a cord, some people feel they are very close but not in the body, some people see from the top. These energy centers give us all energetic experiences. But they are energy centers, not centers of awareness. Centers of awareness start from the same eyes, and they go behind and above, confined in a small place in the body, in the head. They are not in the whole body. When we are awake and we talk to people and we say, I am alive, what makes you feel you are alive? Because you can see from these eyes, you can move your hands, but you know you are not in the hands. You're still somewhere in the head. You are not anywhere else. It takes very little time to close eyes and say, where am I if I am not the body? Where am I sitting inside the body? If you examine this, For a while, you'll see that all the answers will come back. You are not in your feet. You are using your feet, you're using your legs, using your torso, using your arms and hands, but you are doing it all from the head, from the brain. And the brain, of course, is quite an area. Can you pinpoint exactly where you are in the head? If you say, I am only a point of consciousness, not a body, then where am I? If I am operating as consciousness as just one point, then where am I operating in a living state, in a wakeful state? You examine, go within, examine, look, say, where am I operating from? You will find you are operating from the center of the head. Biologically speaking, you are operating from some point between the ears, behind the eyes, in the center, where two glands have been identified, the pineal gland and the pituitary body, just at the top of medulla oblongata. For people who are interested in understanding the brain, they can see there's a certain point. It's the most well-protected point in the whole body. The skull and all that grey matter is all protecting that point. When we are looking with physical eyes, where are we looking from? Are we looking from the eyes, or are we looking from somewhere else? We have two eyes. We could have had one eye, would have been different. Why do we have two eyes? We have two eyes because we see two images. You see, these 3D movies have come, and they wear glasses, and you can see 3D, flat screen become three-dimensional, because we use two different pictures. Two different pictures are shot at the same level where the two eyes are. Now, when these two eyes merge two images, and that's how we see. When these two eyes merge two images, they create a distance. They create spectroscopic effect. They create an effect that things are near and far. With one eye, it's very difficult to have that experience. But two eyes make it very easy. If you place a finger in front of you and look at a distance, you see two fingers. When you start looking at the finger, make it one finger, it creates the distance immediately. And the ability for us to make two fingers being picked up by two eyes into make one eye, where is it taking place? Examine carefully, it's taking place exactly at the same point where the pineal gland is, where the pituitary body is, where what we call third eye center is. Third eye center has been called because these two eyes are looking even now from the third eye. There's no other place from where you can see. The eyes don't see. Eyes, how do we say we see? Physically. We say we see because these eyes just make pictures of what is in front of us. Rays of light fall upon things, upon people, upon objects, and they travel into eyes, creating two different images on the two different eyes, because they're seen from two different angles. Two images are in the eye, and they're taken back, refracted by the lenses and by the aqueous and vitreous humor in the eye. It's so very well built to cause an upside-down image to be put on the retina. It's been examined. The image is actually there on the retina. What's the retina? The retina is the back of the eye, which is an extension of a nerve called the optic nerve. The optic nerve spreads itself at the back of the eye, and when the image falls on it, the optic nerve ending has rods and cones. Some determine what the shape of the object is, one determine the color of the object, and that, therefore, it carries the image, which is falling on the back of the eye, and transmits it through the optic nerve to the certain part of the brain where it uses our conscious self, wakeful self, to make a picture of what we are seeing outside. That's a process, well-established process, well-documented process. That is how we see with the eyes. Now supposing, let's imagine that the retina has been so created, it can create any image it likes. Supposing it's the power of the retina. do you know we'll see the world exactly as we see now? The rest of the process is the same. Supposing it's not the retina, it's the optic nerve that has the power as a nerve to create images. We see the world exactly as we see now. The rest of the process is the same. Supposing it's not the optic nerve or the brain, wakefulness, consciousness, you are awake and conscious and aware, if that is creating an image, that will create an image on the retina, will create the world as it is now. How do we know which is happening? Is a real world outside and we are seeing it, or we are seeing it and creating a real world? This is a very big question being asked for more than 2,000 years. Do we see a tree because the tree is there? Or do we see a tree because we are seeing it and that makes the tree? Which is the answer? They have not found for 2,000 years. They can't even determine today whether our ability to see, our ability to have sense perceptions is creating a reality, or there's really something outside which has been created already, and that's how we perceive it through our sense perceptions. A simple logical answer was given. Whatever happens first must be the cause. What happens later must be the event, or must be the effect of it. That means if there's a tree in front and then we see it, tree is real. If we see it first and then the tree comes, then seeing is real, not the tree. Now when they tried to examine this, which is first and which is later, they were shocked to find that both things are simultaneous. There's no time lag at all. There's no time lag between the trees and the seeing of the tree. Therefore, they could not determine what is the cause, what is the effect. The debate is going on. But actually, they could have found out another way. Not by empirical study. Science today is confined to what they call empirical studies. Studies that can be verified, everybody can see them outside, can be proved outside. When we are examining, is outside a reality or not, how can we apply empirical science, which is all outside, to discover whether it's real or not, whether our consciousness is creating images, or images exist and therefore consciousness is merely perceiving it. So this debate has been going on, and those who believe there has to be a material world before we can see it and experience it, they call them materialists. And a large group of thinkers are on that side. Some thinkers on the other side. They think, no, actually it's all inside and we create this world from inside. The real world is inside and it's just a reflection being created through sense perceptions which work through consciousness. Debate is still going on and it probably will go on for many years more. But there is one good way to find the true answer. The true answer is, why not go within and see what consciousness is? Why not go and see what actually happens? Why not go and see what wakefulness is? Why not examine personally what's happening from inside? You will get the answer. Answer will surprise us because we have always taken this world to be real. And when we go inside and awake to a higher level of wakefulness, we discover it was all created by consciousness, just like a dream. And this is possible because of a simple technique, very simple technique of withdrawing your attention within. We have been gifted with three very beautiful things and we don't take them very seriously. First is awareness, that we are aware of what is happening outside. One day we'll find awareness is creating the whole universe, but right now we can't take it like that because the reality created outside, we are merely a small part of the reality. One small being in a world that has existed for billions of years. We have come for a little while and then we die and go away and the world continues. That has been set as the reality outside. We can't believe that we are creating it in some point. We ourselves can't be creating it, we die. How can a human being be creating something when he himself is going to die or herself going to die? That is why it becomes very difficult to accept that idea. But we can say the same things in a dream also. This is all real. Do you know the time frame that we use in wakeful state is very different from the time frame used in a dream? For example, in 1962-63, I went to the United States to study economics and things like that at Harvard University, well-known university there. At that time, they were having several institutes studying sleep and dreams. I joined one of them to see how do we sleep, how do we dream, what's the real nature of sleeping and dreaming. What they would do, they get subjects to sleep and put cameras on them and put electrodes and put all kinds of things to measure the vital signs, to measure especially the movement of the eyelids. Because they found out when a person is dreaming, the eyes begin to move inside rapidly. They call it rapid eye movement, REM. Rapid eye movement takes place and can be seen on the physical body. And you can wake up that person and say, what were you dreaming? He'll tell you the dream. When he normally wakes up, he will never know he had a dream. He'll say, I never dreamt. I don't have a dream. Everybody dreams every few minutes, every 30 minutes or so. And a dream never lasts more than 11 minutes. There's all studies have been done. Just judging from the REM, the rapid eye movement, they also found out that the eyes move in a direction in which the sequence of dream is going on. For example, they saw a man dreaming with eyes moving rapidly up and down. Cameras were recording it. And they woke him up. What were you seeing? I was seeing a waterfall, beautiful waterfall. So his eyes inside were going up and down the waterfall. The rapid eye movement was in the same direction. They saw another man sleeping, his eye movement in this side. They woke him up. What were you seeing? I was seeing a tennis match. So that means what was happening in the dream sequence had some connection, could be seen in some signs on the body. So this study of sleep was very interesting. And there one guy had a dream of his whole life. He said, I was dreaming, I was a little kid, I remembered my school, I remembered going to school, I remember growing up, I remember I met a girl there, I remember we were childhood friends, and she grew up, and I married her, I had kids also. I was very old. When I was very old, I had grandchildren, I woke up. Whole life in 7 minutes. The dream took only 7 minutes. The explanation how you can experience your whole life in 7 minutes, because you experience the whole life. You experience days, months, years. Yet it took only 7 physical minutes. Shows that the time sequence as we experience is different. When we wake up further to a higher level of awareness and wakefulness from the physical, time is very different from here also. Time is a great study. Scientists are now studying time, and they are a little confused about time. Very confused. Not little. Confusion comes from some simple statements made by scientists, big scientists like Albert Einstein. He said, time and space are the same, that you cannot separate the two. You cannot say, I have 1 minute if there's nothing to see in 1 minute. Space has to be there for creating 1 minute. And if you have space, there must be time for space to exist. In zero time, you can't have space. Therefore, he called it a continuum, and he said, time is merely an ordinate of space. Time-space is one thing. He created a big ruckus amongst the scientists. But today they are studying what is creating an experience of past, an experience of future. At molecular level, they have discovered that a molecule existing in the past and the future is coexisting at the same time. They discovered that past and future can coexist at the same time. What idea do we have time? As if time is flowing. It's not flowing. If past and future can happen at the same time, How can it be that one is earlier, one is later? They're trying to see if time, and now they're making some pictures of study of time-space. Time-space is one, and where our attention is creates past, where attention is creates future, otherwise remains present. Now I tell you a very simple secret, that we are living here in no time. It looks like we're living in time. We have our watches. I know when I started talking to you. I know when I will finish. And I had my drink of water in the past. How come? The reason is we are all living in now. What's the word now? It's always now. Somebody presented a book to me saying, live in the now. I said, where are we living? I've never met any person in my life who's not living in the now. We can't live anywhere. We can't live in the past. We can't live in the future. We have to be in the now at all times. Now is the constant. Okay, let's examine how much time exists in now. When I start saying the word now, it was future. They said it's the past. Where is the time in now? There is no time at all in now. Not even a billionth part of a nanosecond. And yet we think we are living in a present, which is time. How is this impression created in us that we are actually living in time when the only point where we can live is in now, and now has no time? What's creating this strange experience in us? The strange experience is being created because what has just happened, we call it now. We call an immediate past as now. It's not really now, it's past. Every word I speak is in the past. Before I speak, future. Therefore, present has no time, and the immediate short past present we are calling now. That means what we call present is actually past. You can examine it. It's the truth that what we call present is what has just happened. We call it present. What about future? At least future must be existing from where the past is coming. If you look at future, you will find that if we do not have three functions in our consciousness, functions being hope, fear, anticipation. These are all mental functions in consciousness. Supposing nobody hopes, nobody is afraid, nobody anticipates anything, future disappears. Do you know these three words disappear from all dictionaries? There will be no future left. How do we hope? How do we fear? How do we anticipate? In time. That means it's immediate past which causes hope, immediate past which causes fear, immediate past which causes anticipation. So future is really past. Future is past, present is past, past is past. How can we live in the past? Only one way. Memory. We can live in a past only through memory. If the memory is strong enough, we can live as if it is happening now. That is why when we, through meditation and inner experiences, find out the reality of creation, we discover that we are not actually experiencing something now. The experience itself is in time, and therefore is from a past being replayed through memory. A very important point. If you know that we are replaying from memory, that means it happened not now, because there's no time here to happen. Nothing can happen here. There's no time. It happened where time could stand still and all events could be created, and that happens at what we call the causal state of consciousness, where the mind exists and no senses and no body. And at that time, we create all programming of lives, and we are replaying that now. When people say everything is predetermined in our life, what does it mean? Predetermined when? Where? How are we playing it now? How come we feel we can take a change it? How come somebody says it's predetermined, you will leave tomorrow, I'll leave day after? What is predetermined? Well, when I say, somebody is telling me, you leave tomorrow, I said, no, I'm going to change my destiny right now. I'll go day after tomorrow. Then I go inside to see what was predetermined. And I see predetermined was, somebody will tell me, you go today, and I said to him, I'll go tomorrow, predetermined. And I thought I was making this decision here. I thought my thoughts and my ideas were changing my destiny. Little realizing that those so-called changes are also predetermined. We meet a holy person, a guru. I say, please, I am having a lot of problems. Please help me. I am sick. My son is not listening to me. I have got this problem with money, financial problem. Please help. Please change my destiny. It's too bad. My karmas are very bad. Please help. He says, okay, I will pray, and he blesses us, and things change. See, he changed our destiny. And we go up and check up there, our records, what was predetermined, that we will say all those things and he will change. It's part of predetermined destiny. So therefore, what looks like divine intervention here is a divine intervention as part of the predetermined programming. Where is it written? Where is all this record kept that we are replaying here? They must be stored somewhere. It's not stored outside anywhere. If the whole truth is inside us, this must be also inside us. It's all stored at the causal plane of consciousness to which we can awake by awakening 2 times from physical level. That's simple. It's also called the Akashic records because they say it's stored in Akash. Akash means sky. That there's a sky in which I sometimes imagine must be like a big sky with a lot of DVDs stacked there. And every DVD is one lifetime. So when we decided to have an experience, physical experience, we picked up one DVD. When we're playing it, we think it's a life. DVD does not change. It's pre-recorded. But when we see the show, like a movie, when we see the movie, we say, now what will happen? We don't realize it's already happened. It's going to happen. The same way that's already pre-recorded in the DVD. And we play it, we are cut off from the knowledge of the future of what will come in the DVD. Similarly, in the physical plane, we are cut off from the knowledge of the future. It's the ignorance of the knowledge of the future that's creating a sense of free will that we make choices. Choices are pre-written. But we think, should I do this or that, this or that? I am making my decision what my future is. I am deciding. And you go check up there, this is exactly how I will decide. Pre-written. It's not pre-written what will happen outside. Pre-written how I will think, how I will make a choice. Wonderful. And can you imagine that you can have access to those records? Open up what DVD it is and see it for yourself while you are in a human body just by awakening to that level through meditation. What greater enterprise can I suggest to you? What greater adventure can I suggest to you? That this is possible to do well in human body. Therefore, when we are having experiences here, one can question if there was a big selection of DVDs, which becomes our life, how come I didn't pick up the right one? How come I picked up where I was poor, or I was suffering, or I was jilted by my lover, my beloved? How come I couldn't pick up a better life? I should be king, very happy, living somewhere. The answer is very interesting. You don't care what dream you have. It's only when you wake up you discover it was a dream sequence created, not a real life created, and it looks like reality. You wanted it to be reality, to experience reality at a different level. When you wake up, supposing you have a nightmare, very monstrous dream at night, and you wake up, you say, thank God it was a dream. That's exactly what you say when you wake up from this. Thank God it was a dream. It was just created. So we are now thinking this is a reality, and why did we create this reality like this? It doesn't matter. We wanted to create something different from our true state of being in our true home. In our true home, there is no duality, no pairs of opposites. In this created world, in this world, everything is pairs of opposites. You have darkness and light, day and night, happiness and unhappiness. Everything is working in pairs of opposites. Matter, antimatter. You can go to any level and see nothing is sustained here. They say if an atom of matter touches an atom of antimatter, they become zero and annihilate themselves. They can only be sustained in external scientific determined world, and in the interior experience world, this world can only survive in pairs of opposites. Imagine if there was light, like some light like this, all the time. No darkness. Whether we close our eyes, open our eyes, light is always there. Nobody would ever have seen it. There would no word called light that will disappear. Darkness created the experience of light. And similarly, all experiences here have been created by pairs of opposites. Our true home, pure totality of consciousness, has no pairs of opposites. Duality exists only in three levels: physical, astral, causal. There's no duality beyond that. In our true state, we don't have it. Then how do we experience as consciousness in our true home if there's no opposite? Well, we did a good job. We created a world of duality, a world of pair of opposites, which becomes an opposite of our true home. Justifies the existence of this whole creation. People have these questions. Why was this world created? Why are we here? We are here for a very good reason, to appreciate our true home and love our true home and love our true self better than we can ever do by creating a world of opposites, which are the three worlds that we created here. Beautifully done. Perfectly done. That is why when we use those words, perfect living master, we are talking of a human being who has experience beyond the mind, beyond duality, beyond pairs of opposites, while he is here with us. If such a person comes to our life, he is living in perfection. There is no imperfection in oneness. Perfection comes in duality. Therefore, all imperfection has come through the mind in these three created worlds. That's why anyone who has realized a state of being, a state of the self, which is not covered by these three bodies, mind, senses, and physical body, is perfect. That's perfect. I tell you one simple experiment. You go within and examine the whole world, created worlds, all three. Put them together, say, is the creation perfect or imperfect? You'll find it perfect. And inside, if you see part of the creation, it's imperfect. These words are very important, that imperfection is created by a division by mind. The mind divides. It's been created for that purpose. Why have we been divided? If we were one with the Creator, and we are part of the Creator, what was the need to divide? Good reason. In our original state, we were a strange kind of thing called love. L-O-V-E, love. That is not created. It was there. We started with that. There has to be something starting in consciousness. So the consciousness started with love, bliss, total knowledge. What do we call total knowledge? With no thinking involved to have knowledge, we call it intuition here. Intuitive knowledge. Sometimes we call it gut feeling. We get it here, we get it at other levels, and that was our reality in our true home. When we are here, what is our consciousness consisting of, which makes us alive? There's a soul, which is life. Soul disappears, life disappears, we die. What else dies with it? Our mind, senses, body, everything dies. But supposing we retain our mind, thinking machine we retain and make it alive, but have nothing else, we are in a so-called causal body. Supposing we add on another costume on the self, we call sense perceptions, we have an astral body. Supposing we cover itself with a material body like this physical, we have three covers upon our soul. Mind, senses, body, which is called causal body, sensory or astral body, or physical body. This is how we are working in this world. It does not mean that we have left any place or come here. Everything is intact. The spiritual journey is to become aware of what is inside by becoming unaware of what is covering it. It's only a question of using the process of shifting from one awareness to another. Nothing more. And we have these three great gifts I was mentioning: awareness, attention, and the power to concentrate it. Big things. Of course, on top of that, there's another gift given to us called imagination. I'll tell you, these are the only things required for discovering your true self. They're given right here to us. If you have awareness that you are awake, if you have attention, that means put it in part of the awareness. We are aware of the whole hall here. I can look at one person, my attention goes there. I can look at these flowers, my attention goes there. Look at the picture of my master, attention. Attention is move. Awareness does not move. Attention moves. If attention moves, we can place it where we like. We have been using it. We read a book, we put our attention on the book. And when we are reading a book very seriously, we don't have the same awareness what is outside, what's happening. Our attention on the book. Imagine the power of attention, that when you concentrate it, you can become unaware of other things. It's amazing. There are stories about great arrows, people who were marksmen in arrows, how they concentrated completely on the target. Then they were very good. Their attention was scattered, they couldn't do much. Concentrating of attention is a very useful thing, not only for getting work done in this world and using our conscious abilities to work in the world, but also for going within. It's the same attention you can place inside also. That's the power given to us, that we can, instead of putting attention outside, we can put our attention inside. Now, that's where the catch is, I must tell you. The catch is that we have always put our attention outside. So we have learned how to focus our attention on things outside. When we are told to put your attention inside, we try to focus attention on what? Focusing attention means you are separate from what you're focusing attention on. How can you put your attention on yourself? Focusing attention requires the flow of attention to something on which you are focusing, always. This is not focusing attention at all. This is withdrawal of attention to yourself. That's where people are trapped, caught. Even those who are doing meditation. People are doing meditation for years and years, trying to focus attention on something. They think they're looking for third eye center. They're looking for where they are sitting inside. They make a little picture of themselves and put stress on their head, get headaches, trying to figure out where they are, and don't do anything at all. Focusing of attention gives us nothing. Somehow we have been trained always to focus attention. Withdrawal of attention is something different. Withdrawal of attention to yourself. Supposing I were to say, I'm looking at things, now I want to withdraw attention. I'll not be aware of anything outside, but myself who is watching things. When people close their eyes and they say, I am now looking at myself inside, they make a little picture of themselves. And they think it is inside. And they focus attention on that. They are not that picture. They are the ones looking and focusing on the picture. You're supposed to be where you're looking at the picture from, not where the picture is. Moreover, I can tell you one secret, that when you make a picture in the darkness by closing eyes, and you think That is you. That's not even inside, it's outside, right here, outside the eyes. I have demonstrated to people that when you think in meditation that you are now watching yourself, do one little trick. Raise your hands and bring them to your eyes. One can always bring one's hands to one's eyes, even with eyes closed. We know where they are. Anytime we can touch our eyes. When you have a picture of yourself sitting inside, bring your hand slowly to your eyes. You will see, you will cross that picture before you touch your eyes. Where was the picture? Outside. We cannot make anything inside. It all comes out outside because we have been used to looking only with these eyes. That is why we can't even, with that image inside, leave the awareness of the body. It continues to be there. And we get no results. Ultimately, we get tired and give up and frustrated. It doesn't have any meaning. We had the correct instructions, correct description of how to seize what is inside. We didn't know how to follow it. How do we withdraw attention inside? Just becoming aware of yourself, the one who's watching. Now, that can be helped very much by the third, fourth thing that I said, we have been gifted with imagination. Supposing you were to imagine that you are standing next to this table. Most of you can very easily imagine you are standing here. You are sitting there in the physical body. Your imaginary self is here. What has brought your imaginary self here? Attention. It's been created outside. But you felt, I have gone there. Therefore, when you imagine you are there in the center, you are there, not seeing something. Anything can be seen by you, but you are there. When you are there and you watch what is happening around there. Why is there darkness in front? Where are my ears gone? How far are my eyes from where I am? When you contemplate these things, you are pulling your attention to yourself, which in the wakeful state is operating from the center, from the third eye center. And your concentration opens up the other world. People are missing out some very little point here and not getting the benefit of meditation, made it into almost a ritual. It's not a ritual. It's discovery of yourself. That is why, if you can imagine where you are, it will automatically lead you there because you are there anyway. Don't have to search for a third eye or search for a center. You are there right now when you are awake. That's from where you operate, consciously. So if you can withdraw attention there and experience by imagination you are there and see what else is happening. And I make people, when they're coming to my meditation workshop, do all these things and clarify. So that's why they get some results. If you can do that, you can open up your eyes by becoming unaware of the physical body. It starts slowly. You become unaware of your hands and feet. Then you become unaware where your arms are. You don't know where they are. You can feel that you are. Rest of you is there. Where are the limbs gone away? Then you don't know where the bottom is gone. You feel you are in the sky, that you are lifted up, almost like a levitation. It's nothing happening but the pulling up of your attention from the aims. It's all scattered in the body, and from the body scattered outside. It's withdrawn exactly in the same order, and then ultimately you become unaware of the body. Your inner body opens up like an awakening to a new life. When it's complete unawareness, you wake completely up there. A simple method, but somehow we have not followed it correctly. If you follow it correctly, you'll get anybody can get the results. The process is simple. Practice is needed, of course. Practice is needed because we have been looking outside all the time. What will happen if we really withdraw our attention there? We can then meditate and withdraw our attention within that body. People are thinking that all levels of consciousness are achieved by withdrawing awareness from this body. Not at all. When you become unaware of this body, inner body is fully in awareness. You have to go within that. It's always within that. When you have no body, it's just a power around you of thinking. which is the causal body, has no shape like this. Astral, this body is similar in size. That's slightly bigger than this. You can also change the size of the astral body by thinking and imagining. That is why these are practices which we can learn from people who have had some practice in this thing. And we can discover our truth. Even waking up one step after initiation by a perfect living master is good enough. Why? That's where he is. We find he was there in actual manifestation from the day of initiation, which might not have been the day of formal initiation outside. The day he actually accepted us, he's waiting for us there. When we meet him there, I'll tell you a few results of that, what happens. For one time at last you find loneliness disappears from our life. Otherwise we are always lonely. No matter how many friends we have, their relationship is skin deep with the physical body. It is only there we discover there's a friend of ours who is going to be with us at all times, 24/7, till eternity, not for a lifetime, not for this lifetime. It's a very great experience. That's when loneliness disappears. Many other things disappear. Doubt disappears. Fear disappears. Life changes. And we are walking like ordinary people with a strange experience. And sometimes people wonder how you are so happy. What's making you happy? What's making you so contented? What's making you live life like this? It's all that one experience of finding the radiant form of a master within. And after that, your part is over. He can from there guide you how to withdraw your attention from there. And when you withdraw attention from there, he's in the next form. What happens at the end? At the end, you find that you and the master were the same. It was your own self that generated an experience of a master. It was self-discovery. It was your own self waking up by pre-programmed program at that moment to wake up to that higher level of self-discovery. Master was merely created for the purpose of discovering your own self. And self-realization, instantly after that, can lead you to discovery of creative power, which is not only self-discovery, of discovery that all selves that we thought were separate was only one. It's a beautiful experience. Imagine only one life form exists in which this can be achieved, human life. You cannot discover if you are a plant or a tree or an insect or a crow or a bird or an animal. They don't think and decide. They work on instincts. So do we. We are also animals. Most of our life, 80%, 90% sometimes, is all instinctive reactions to what's happening, programmed. In our DNA molecule, programmed for everything. Only 15, 10, 20% times in our life, we have decisions to make. Shall I go right or left? Shall I take this job or not? Shall I marry this woman or not? Shall I be friend with that person or not? That is the time when we do something which no other life form does, called deliberation. We deliberate in our mind. We think hard, what is good and bad, what is better and worse. We apply a mind of a moral code inside with our mind. And then we decide. This experience, no matter whether it's pre-recorded or not, is an actual experience in the physical world. And it's called free will. This actual experience that we have is the experience designed to get us back home. It's this experience of making a choice of free will that makes us a seeker and gives us experience of being a seeker. And when you experience seeking, you find the truth, and a master appears in your life. So the whole secret is seeking. Whoever seeks within, not shouting outside, seeks within, finds the way. I can tell you, if you seek earnestly, a master will appear in your life. The secret is seeking. It may be that you may have some masters coming in your life who take you up to a certain point. They are experts. They have got experiences. Some masters will take you one half, one stage, 2 stages, 3 stages. But we don't call them perfect living masters. They are masters. And this, depending on what our seeking is. If our seeking is only for going to heaven, and we have heard descriptions of heaven, and we think that's a great place to be in, they can take us to heaven. And such masters will come in your life who have been to heaven and who can tell you how to go to heaven. All heavens are in the astral plane. There's no heaven beyond that. All hells are in the astral plane. These are created universes. You can go and examine them. But only when you are seeking not to have any of these experiences, but to be in your true home, your true self, discover who you really are. A perfect living master comes into your life and guides you as if it is a preordained programming done. It is programming done. Who did it? The true self, which is yourself. Some people say, is free will real or unreal? Big question. They ask me all the time. If free will is not real, then why are we trying to do anything? Things will happen. If things have to happen by themselves, why should we make any effort? You should make an effort because it is also predetermined how you will use your free will. But the experience of free will is different. It's based on ignorance. You don't know what is pre-programmed. That is why you have free will. But when you have free will, it's a real experience. It's a real experience that is being used to seek and to find. There is no contradiction. Is it God's will we are living or mind's will? There are 2 wills. We experience them here. When God speaks to us, we say God's will. When a mind speaks to us, we say mind's will. Which one should we follow? God's will. How do we understand God's will? Do we have to ask questions or does he just express his will? There's one famous mystic, Rumi, Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, he gave an answer to this question. He says, people ask me, what is God's will? We want to live in God's will. He said, God's will is described, is given to you all the time. If he has given a spade in your hand, he's expressed his will, dig. If he has given a pen in your hand, he's expressed his will, write. He has created the circumstances in your life expressing his will. That means if you don't think too much, but follow what is around, live in what they used to call go with the flow. If you really go with the flow, you are living in God's will. And if you think too much and get confused, that is your will. Then we take a mental decision today, and next day we say, oh, sorry, that was not a good thing to do. We regret. If we take in God's will, we don't regret. Now, how do we actually experience? The actual experience between God's will and our will, or spiritual will and mental will, the actual difference is when you think and decide in time, that's your mental will. The mind is being used. When you don't think and decide, which is called intuitive will. Intuition does not take time. Intuition does not function like the mind. Intuition is spiritual. When you have a gut feeling, intuitive feeling, you are talking spiritual will. If you have mental will, then you are governed by the mind and you have problems. The mind becomes almost a negative entity when you try to go within. It's trying to keep you outside. It is designed to have use of these sense perceptions and in a physical world. Therefore, it will always want to have some pleasure, some joyful things, some nice things outside. Designed for that. So when you want to go against that, the mind becomes a negative power and says, why? We are missing something here. There's nothing inside. It's all darkness. Close your eyes and see. Mind talks to us like this. And therefore, it becomes a negative power for us. Whereas the soul wants to discover its true home and is looking ways to come in. There's a little clash. When you use mental will by thinking and deciding, then you are acting according to what the mind is saying. When you act intuitively, when intuitive feelings come, gut feeling comes, and without the use of the mind, it's your spiritual will. Can we develop spiritual will, because we can't say we can get intuition when we like. A friend of mine said, I'm developing intuition. I said, how did you do that? He said, I can decide something so quickly. I said, let me see you decide something. He said, this is what I'm going to do. I said that was not intuitive. That was your mind working to see what to do. Intuitive feeling comes, gut feeling comes so suddenly, and it comes without our having to develop it, because it's natural to us. It's a spiritual thing. When we have an intuitive feeling, intuitive thing to do, it's our spiritual will. How can we develop it? The way to develop it is to negate the mental will. If mind is saying, do this, and something is telling, don't do it, intuitively, then say no to the mind. Mind will argue, not this time, okay, let me, one time, no. Only this time, no. Spiritual will develops automatically. By saying no to your mental will, at least 2-3 times a week, your spiritual will grow, intuitive self will work very fast. I'm sharing all these things with you because I know you are all seekers. That's why you are here, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And I hope the little tips I'm giving will be helpful to you. I'll explain a little more about the process, further process of how the self in ourselves is expressing itself, not only through the experiences generated by the sense perceptions, by something that is manifesting within ourselves, which has been described in many different ways. It has been called in the Bible, in John's Gospel, opening verses, the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, the opening sentences. They are placing the Word ahead of God. In Rig Veda, Indian scripture, it says, in the beginning was a sound, a Nad. The Nad created the creative powers. Nad created all gods, and Nad created everything, sound. Some description is given that there is a music of the spheres. They describe the Holy Ghost as music of the spheres. They describe various other forms. In Islam, description is, first of all, that God is not, for Muslims, is not a Rabbe Muslimin, is Rabbe Alameen, for the whole world, one God. And how do we hear? From Bange Asmani, from the sound coming from the sky. If you look at the religious teachings, the founders stated the same thing, that there is something which can be described, sound, word or something. Why these words? Why not power? Because these words indicate something that can be heard, is audible. The truth is that our soul itself has a radiance of itself, manifesting itself, which can be the manifestation of a soul, even at this time. And it is manifesting in something that can be heard, is audible. That right now, in all of us, the soul, living source, is singing a song, is a sound, which can be heard by us. Nothing can bring us closer to our soul, to ourselves, than listening to the sound. That's a shortcut. Other means are long cuts. I'll explain to you tomorrow morning. If you come here again, 11 o'clock tomorrow. There used to be a story, Arabian Nights. 1,000 stories were told by one woman to the king. The king was so ruthless, he used to call a woman and have his pleasure time with him and kill the woman next day. New woman. So one clever woman came and began to tell him a story. And when the story reached a real end, she said, I'm tired now, I'll tell you the rest tomorrow. So she was not killed. She kept on telling story after story. She told 1,000 stories and lived for all the time. Those Arabian Nights. So when I am mentioning that the shortcut is really inside by listening to a sound alone, that makes an interesting story tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. Thank you very much for your patient listening.